Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the Nerdic Pro podcast. How are we all doing? Welcome to episode in week number 188 of Nerdic Pro Weekly. And tonight I'm here for a predictions podcast to predict episode, not to fucking predict episode, to predict tomorrow night's WWE Night of Champions pay-per-view, premium live event, whatever it is you want to call it. And yeah, so I'm currently doing this podcast whilst I'm watching SmackDown that's currently taking place. Unfortunately, there was like a massive fucking technical thing earlier where literally it spent best part of half an hour, if not longer, just fucking on the like for those of you that watch it on Netflix, you must have seen, it saying we will be back shortly, and when they're in like the interval commercial advert fucking bit, I spent fucking best part of half an hour just on that work, just doing that, and yeah. So turns out there was a big fucking technical issue sort of thing going on, and yeah. So I would have done a live reaction to it had that not fucking happened, but yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I'm here for tomorrow's well, at the minute on SmackDown, they're currently hyping up and showing a few video packages of the match between Cena and CM Punk for their undisputed WWE title match tomorrow in Saudi Arabia. And yeah, so I will get to that match shortly because then I want to have like an in-ring like confrontation sort of thing, as they do with quite a lot of them, quite a lot of these matches. And now, hang on, somebody hooded is now getting in the ring. R-Truth, I'd imagine. Yep, R-Truth is here. R-Truth is in the building. What's up? Hang on, let me just see what he says. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So, hang on. Get out here right now. I want you right now. Come, John Cena. Where you at? So he's just said that he is Ron Killings. He's the truth, nothing but the truth, and all that. Like the whole truth, and, yeah, and all that. And calling Cena down to the ring. And then Aleister Black was stood behind him as he called John Cena out, and just gave him like his spin kick moves that he does. So yeah, but anyways, so turn this down a bit whilst I concentrate on predicting tomorrow's Night of Champions. So anyways, so matches I've got down at the moment. There's 6 matches for Night of Champions tomorrow. So starting off, let's go on to the King of the Ring match between Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare versus the Vampire. Not the Vampire, the Viper. Sorry. So yeah. Fucking. Not gonna lie, I've got a feeling that Cody's gonna win this, and then try and have a bit of redemption onto Cena to have Cena versus Cody again at SummerSlam. Which I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be against Randy winning it because let's be fair, it's gotta happen on Cena's retirement tour. Fucking not again, because obviously we see it. Was it Backlash? Or something where Cena had Randy in a match for the title. They've got to wrestle again, I think. And are we going to see Cody finally get his rematch with Cena by winning King of the Ring, and refinishing his story once again. So is Cody gonna win King of the Ring to give him that right to have a match against John Cena at SummerSlam for the undisputed title, or are we gonna get to see once again Randy Orton versus John Cena in Cena's retirement tour? Two of the all-time greats who have previously fucking been to war on numerous occasions over the past 20 some odd years in WWE and in OVW as well. So yeah, I personally think Cody will end up winning, and So match number 2 is the women's Queen of the Ring match between Asuka and Jade Cargill. Me personally, I think how they're going to play this out is have Jade Cargill go over and win, and then obviously fast forward onto SummerSlam, have Jade face. Is it still Tiffany Stratton, the SmackDown Women's Champion, like the Women's Champion at the moment? And then have Naomi cash in. So, how I personally think it's going to happen is have Jade Cargill beat Tiffy at SummerSlam. So, hang on. Right, so as of tomorrow, have Jade Cargill beat Asuka, become the 2025 Queen of the Ring, go on to SummerSlam, beat Tiffy. At the end of the match, Naomi comes out with a ref, completely batters the piss out of Jade Cargill, and then have Naomi officially cash in the women's Money in the Bank contract, and then beat Jade Cargill to then continue on Jade versus Naomi and their feud. And so that's how I personally think that they're going to play it out. So match number 3. Well, I've got down match number 3 is the undisputed title, but I'll do that later. The US title match: Jacob Fatu defending against Solo Sikoa. Obviously, I did a live reactions to Money in the Bank about a month ago, just over a month ago, whatever it was. And I was quite happy when Jacob Fatu finally turned his back on Solo Sikoa during the men's Money in the Bank contract ladder match. It'll be good to see Jacob versus Solo finally go one-on-one, as I think, personally, I think it will be a very good match. I really do. Tomorrow. There's got to be interferences through Jeff Cobb or JC Mateo, what the fuck he is now. Could we potentially see the return of either one of the Gorillas of Destiny, Tamatonga, Tongaloa, or the Tongans, as they're known as in WWE now? Or he's been on dark matches recently. Son of Haku, of the Massive Giant, fellow member of New Japan's Bullet Club, of Hikuleo. Could Hikuleo make an appearance during the match? I've got a feeling that Jimmy Uso's got to interfere. Jeff Cobb has to interfere. And I've got a feeling we're going to see Hikuleo go out, because I'm not being funny enough, right? He's been seen, he's wrestled matches in WWE. He's not had televised matches. He's had dark matches, which I think was an absolutely stupid idea for him to get brought in. First of all, having fucking dark matches, because that's obviously going to give away the surprise that he's fucking coming in at some point. I personally think, if they don't do it tomorrow, then I think they're leaving it too late. Tomorrow's the golden opportunity to bring in Hikuleo for anything, because you can't not have him in the whole Bloodline 2.0 storyline, whatever the fuck you want to call it. He's got to be he's got to be involved, as he is a relation to Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, the Usos, the Guerrillas of Destiny, etc. Do you know what I mean? So, me personally, I personally think that Jacob Fatu will be going over and retaining. How, though, that remains to be seen. So the next match is a match between Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight match. Not gonna lie, I'm actually looking forward to this, as I think that Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez are great. I really do, and I think that especially Rhea and continuously putting on bangers, etc. Do you know what I mean? Rhea has never let the crowd down. Do you know what I mean? Even going back to the days in NXT UK when she was NXT UK Women's Champion. She's never let the crowd down. She's always, sent the crowd home happy with, a gimmick and matches, and days in NXT, and then obviously now on the main roster. Her sort of thing with Dominic Mysterio, created the whole Mummy persona and the Judgment Day. She's never not had a bad stint, shall we say, in WWE. She's had the odd occasional match where I personally thought could have been better, coming out of the match, that could have been better, but so is every wrestler in the history of the business, and same goes for Raquel Rodriguez, going back to the days in NXT when she was NXT Women's Champion as Raquel Gonzalez, who hasn't, had a match where it, quote unquote, could have been better. Do you know what I mean? Personally, I think that Rhea's going over in the match. Match number 6, Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. I don't know where to stand with Karrion Kross at the minute, as he's pretty much been unofficially been cutting pipe bombs quite regularly. Not on screen, but in podcasts and in backs and what have you. He did it at WrestleMania, blatantly slagging off Joe Hendry, be like, why the bloody hell are we bringing in someone from TNA to face Randy Orton? Why the fuck did Joe Hendry get a match at WrestleMania, but I didn't? Why was I not Kevin Owens' fucking replacement? Effing and blinding and what have you. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, fuck, was that a legit fucking pipe bomb sort of thing? Or was that, just a storyline kayfabe sort of thing, Because to me, it looked like he was genuine and genuinely slagging off the writers and the creative team at WWE and, blatantly, not by name, but blatantly slagging off Triple H and Nick Khan. I think they've got to build up Karrion Kross because I like Karrion Kross. I really do. Going back to when he was released from WWE like a few years ago, to when he went into TNA, MLW, etc. I think when he was Killer Kross there, fantastic. Before in NXT and WWE as Karrion Kross, fantastic. Over the past, couple of years since he's been back, right? Great. Do you know what I mean? And I just hope that, I'm not saying, world heavyweight title, like undisputed title or whatever, I just hope they build him up for, as a strong mid-carder. Do you know what I mean? Gunning for the IC title, gunning for the US title, just gunning for something, like the big mid-card storylines. Do you know what I mean? Like, probably main event in like a fucking pay-per-view where the undisputed title or the world title is not on the card. You know, main eventing like one of those pay per views, main eventing like the odd episode of fucking Raw or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Just getting something out of it, you know. And yeah, I just hope that something there can fucking happen. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so moving on to what Michael Cole literally said about 20 minutes ago would be the main event of Night of Champions, the undisputed WWE Championship match, a match between CM Punk and John Cena. John Cena defending the undisputed WWE title against good old Chick Magnet Punk. Not gonna lie, I am really fucking looking forward to this. I really am, because you look at last week's SmackDown where Cena cut that. Do you call it a pipe bomb or what have you? You know, where he literally called out Matt Cardona, who's so Matt Cardona was Zack Ryder in WWE, Claudio Castagnoli, who was Cesaro in WWE, Nick Nemeth, who was Dolph Ziggler in WWE. You know, it's, you know, and then just, but whilst Punk was there, I was able to tell with Punk's facial expressions whilst he was laying there through the table, where he was literally trying not to smirk, you know, and yeah, I was like, fuck me, you know, and yeah, I think it's good that they're doing this and like reminiscing from that pipe bomb back in, when was it, 2011 or something like that, where Punk was like, oh yeah, like I may as well like go back to Ring of Honor, go work for New Japan, called out Colt Cabana, who Punk literally now has fucking nothing to do with, as was made blatantly obvious at the Brawl Out press conference a couple of years ago for AEW. But fucking yeah, yeah, I'm really looking forward to Cena Punk. I really am. This has to be a really good match because, you know, again, we're not going to see, potentially not going to see Punk versus Cena again. You know, they had a fucking great rivalry, you know, 14 years ago over the WWE title, you know, or, you know, 12, 13, 14 years ago, whatever it was. You know, absolutely fantastic feud, like, in my opinion. Like, I remember it as it was fucking happening. You know, I don't really like to mention him, but Uncle Dave, Dave Meltzer from The Observer, the Wrestling Observer, gave their match of Money in the Bank. Where was it, in 2011? I think it was. So yeah, 14 years ago. He ended up giving that match 5 stars, which is, I believe, one of the only 2 matches, I think, on the WWE, so WWE main roster, because NXT have had a few 5-star matches, but like but this was the first match on main roster WWE to actually receive a 5-star match. Well, no, was it? No, it wasn't, because Shawn Michaels and Dudar earned a 5-star, didn't they? No, so that was one of the. I think that was the first match since Michaels and Scott Hall in the ladder match for the IC title at SummerSlam, whatever year it was. Yeah, so because the next one after that was a couple of years ago, wasn't it? Between Cody and Seth in the Hell in the Cell match, wasn't it? Where you literally see Cody Rhodes when he went out injured for the best part of, you know, God knows how many months, where his shoulder literally looked purpler than purple. And yeah, so, but anyways, not enough about that. I personally, as I've just said, I'm really looking forward to Punk and Cena. I really am. You know, reliving Punk and Cena. You know, childhood me, right? Childhood Bobby Salazar is really looking forward to seeing Punk and Cena again. And yeah, so So yeah, anyways, and I personally think, well, as I said earlier, I think that Cena is walking away victorious. As I said earlier on, I think because I think they're going to toy it in to the match between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, because I think both Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes, as well as Punk, all want their hands on Cena, right? Um, but I think they'll I think Randy and Cody want Cena more than what they want Punk, because let's face it, neither Cody or Randy want Punk. They both want Cena, whether it's for the title or not, because of his whole attitude change, heel persona that he's had since Elimination Chamber this past February. Um, you know, he's so yeah. I think that whoever wins the King of the Ring will go on to face Cena at SummerSlam, like on how I said earlier on in the podcast. And so I think Cena will be going over and beating CM Punk for the undisputed WWE title and retaining the said undisputed WWE Championship. So yeah. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the Nerdic Pro podcast, thank you all very, very much for watching episode of week number 188 of Nerdic Pro Weekly. My name has, as per usual, been Bobby effin Salastar, and I shall be seeing you all later. Thank you all very, very much, and goodbye.